My dad, to me, is kind of like Forrest Gump in a way. Anything he set his mind to that he wanted to do, he did, and he never really put himself in a box. He was an engineer. He was an actual rocket scientist for a while. Then he was a successful patent attorney. Now he's a historian and author.
Paul was born in Livingston and raised in White Sulphur Springs. After high school, he attended Montana State College to study chemical engineering.
We might not always think that an engineer or lawyer would be good storytellers. But Paul is a great storyteller.
When he retired from law, research was in his blood, and he couldn't stop. His first book was about Thomas Francis Meagher, the first territorial governor of Montana.
The Irish general becomes the biography of Meagher that Ireland embraces and that Montanans embrace. And no one has written another biography of Meagher that is as well documented, as thoughtfully conceived, and therefore will stand the test of time. Blood on the Marias, The Baker Massacre is Paul's second book. Over 200 Pecuni Indians were killed by the U.S. Army, and it's a story that really isn't known by many Montanans.
His number one goal when he was writing that book was to do right by the tribe. He didn't want to write it from a place of a Westerner trying to parachute into their community and tell their story. He consulted with several Blackfeet elders and Blackfeet historians during the course of writing that book.
It's a really important story for Montana. It's an important story for the Blackfeet tribe. The Pecuni were part of that tribe. But it's also a really important story for non-native Montanans to understand what took place.
Paul recently published his third book titled The Golden Bobcats.
It was about the creation of the Montana State College basketball program.
He kind of wanted to transport folks who read this book back to that era and describe what it was like.
For both of Paul's books, he asked if I could find graduate students who would help him with the footnotes. Those were fantastic experiences for our students who needed the money but also needed to learn those skills.
Through his research, he made some deep connections with the Blackfeet community and the Native American community in Montana.
He really wanted to impact the Native American students.
The Wylie Student Endowment for Native Americans in Engineering is just something that means a lot to my dad.
He loves his alma mater, and he just wants to do whatever he can to make a good experience for the students that have graduated and are going to graduate from MSU.
When I was in the third grade, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my father, being who he is, wanted to support her the best way possible. And they found the cancer support community. They wanted to bring it to Montana.
We became very active in starting the cancer support community. In fact, it was Paul's idea.
It's something that is still very important to my mother and my father, just because it offers resources and support for people who are going to a very difficult, very uncertain times of their lives once they receive a cancer diagnosis.
He is so generous with what he can give in terms of support to students and work that's important to Montanans.
He's so down to earth. He's always been just who he is.
I think his legacy is just don't stop learning. Don't stop being curious. Don't stop pursuing your dreams while also being as kind to everyone as you possibly can.